Hello everyone and welcome back for video number 4. I hope you guys had a lot of fun playing around with Google, using the basics of Google and some of the great tools that Google has to offer. I know we looked at how to search, how to find good search results, images, maps, and pretty much all of the wonderful things that you can do with Google, which really, guys, honestly, it is endless what you can do with Google. So I hope everybody had a great time going through that and figuring things out. We're now going to be moving on to the second part of our Google interaction videos, which are going to be 3 in total. But this second part specifically is going to be more than anything about creating your own Gmail or Google account. Now, for those of you that might already be using Gmail, this isn't going to be super duper helpful, but what I do want to do is anybody that does not have a Gmail or Google account, it'll be super important that you create one, because we will be actually looking at a couple of the tools and things that Google has available that you will need a Google account for. So if you already have one, that is fantastic. You can always stick around. I'm going to be touching up on a few things that you can do with your Google account. So if you already have one, then we might be able to figure out or learn together a couple of new things that maybe you weren't aware of that you could do with your Google account. All right, guys. So welcome to lesson number 4. So this is going to be how to create a Gmail account or Google account, and we can get started. So again, as always, you guys know you're going to be using a lot of the skills that you learned previously in the first and second video, which are just the very basics of how to navigate a computer, how to use a computer, things like a mouse, keyboard, all that kind of stuff. So we are going to go ahead and go right to the home page, right? So we open up our web browser. Now here we are at Google's homepage, so just google.ca, and this is what we see. We're going to go ahead and go to the top right-hand corner. So as you guys can see over here, there's a big blue button that says sign in. Now you might have a little circle with a person's silhouette. You may have, maybe somebody is already logged in. So just make sure that if it's your account, you make sure up here that it's your account. If not, then we're going to go ahead and click sign in. So we're going to go ahead and left click. And right here, it'll take you to where it says sign in, use your Google account. So we don't have an account. So we're actually going to go down here where it says create account. So we have right here where it says email or phone, forgot email, learn more. And then at the very bottom of this window, we see the one that says create account. So we're actually going to click on create account. Now, the great thing about Google is because Google is so versatile, there's so many things you can do with Google. You actually have different options for when creating an account. So for those of you that are parents that may have younger children that want to use Google for school, right? Maybe your teacher said, hey, your child needs to create a Google account because we're going to be using something called Google Classroom, for example. You can actually create an account for your child. This is great because you'll be able to have control over how that account is used, what they have access to, what they can and cannot see, what they can and cannot use. So it's a very good way to protect your child from the dangers of the internet, from things that are not healthy for kids, and you keep them protected and you keep them happy. So it gives you a peace of mind knowing that they're not going to be able to get into any trouble or see anything that they really shouldn't be seeing. So that is a fantastic option. Now, the other thing that Google is also great for is many businesses use Google. So any of you out there that are thinking of starting a business or that may already have a business, you can actually create an account to manage your business, which is fantastic. Now, in this case, we're just going to be doing a very simple Google account just for yourself, for your personal use. So we're going to go ahead and click for myself. Now it's going to take us to this next section. Now, I already have a Gmail account, so we're just going to be creating a fake one. So we're just going to use the name Joe. Smith. Now this is where you would put your first name and your last name. Now, usually when you go into this next part to create your actual account username, right? So your account username is going to be very unique to you. Only you will have that username, right? And this is what you will be able to give out to your friends, to your family, to say, hey, you can send me an email here. So when I click on here, it gives me, it creates one for me if I want to use that. Now, the reason it creates one for you is because it knows that this one is not being used by anybody at all. But maybe I don't want to use Joe239253 because I don't know what any of those numbers mean. So I'm going to forget. So I want to use something a little bit easier. Maybe we're going to do Joe Smith. Usually your first name dot your last name is the easiest. Usually, unless you have a very common first and last name, usually it'll be available. But if it's not available, which in this case I don't think it will be available, I think Joe Smith is probably being used by somebody else. See, there it is. That username is taken. Try another. So we can just say, okay, Joe Smith, and then I'm going to use my dog's name. So maybe we'll say Joe Smith Rocky. Anything that'll help you remember, anything that'll make it unique to you. Oh, look at that. Somebody's already using that. So this is where you guys will have to play around and find something that works. I'm not going to use this, so we're just going to say random numbers. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Apparently that's already taken. 4. There we go. Okay. So you guys create your username. Make sure you use something that, if you're going to be using, for example, for work, make sure you create something professional, maybe just your first name, as simple as you can. Try not to use too many numbers or make it too complicated like this, because sometimes that's a little bit harder. It can get easier to, create a spelling error, maybe miss a number, and you may not get the email that you're waiting for, right? So just try to create it as simple as possible. Because I'm using a very random name, a very easy name, popular name. That's why I'm having to do this. But go ahead and create your password. So we're just going to create a random password here. 1, 2, 3. Just anything. This is just for the example. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. So once you do that, it's going to ask you for your phone number. Now, the reason it asks you for your phone number is not so that it can show it to anybody else or, sell your phone number to other people. The only reason for this is for security. So just so that nobody else can access your account but you, you can enter your cell phone number and it'll actually send you a code, a security code that only you can use. So that's the reason why it asks you for your phone number. I don't believe that you have to put a phone number if you don't want to, but I do recommend that you use it just because it'll be important to keep your account safe from anybody that is trying to access your account that is not you. Okay. You can also put an email address. Some people have, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, other different services that they use. So if you have another email address, you can put that one here. If you ever forget your password, then Google can send you a security code to that other email address and you can reset your password. Okay. So here we're going to enter birthday. It's going to say gender. So this is just your personal information. So you can go ahead and enter that information as you go through. This part here is just their privacy and terms. So every company, every time you give them your information, or every time you sign up to use an account where you can use their services, they will have something like this. Now, this is just to explain to you how they function, what rules and what laws they follow, what they do with your information, and what you're allowed to use their services for. So if you wanted to read this, they do have a couple of links here. So you can actually click this blue text and it will take you to pages and pages of legal information. I'm not saying you shouldn't read it. It's quite lengthy, but you can take a gander, go look at it, read it, see if there's anything important that you need to know. That'll give you peace of mind when you're signing up for these services, but it's no different than pretty much any other account that you're going to sign up for. So if you do find anything that you're not happy with, you don't have to create an account. But if everything looks good to you, you can go ahead and click I agree right here at the bottom, and that'll take us to the next step. So it brought us back to the main Google page. Now, as you can see, one of the main differences from where we started to now is on the top right-hand corner. You guys will see usually the first letter of your first name will appear there. So you can actually click on that. That's your account. See, that's your account. We're logged in, and if you click on that little circle with the letter of your first name, with the first letter of your first name. So in this case, my name is Joe Smith, so that letter is a J. So you can actually left click on that, and you guys will see you can actually change the picture. So if we wanted to change the picture, oh, it's asking us to sign in. Okay, don't know why it's not letting us, but you can actually change the picture there. You can manage your Google account and make all of the necessary changes that you need. So that's it, guys. That's it for creating a Google account. It's very basic, it's very easy, it's very, very simple. And one of the best features, or one of the best services for that, is something that they call Gmail, which is obviously the G stands for Google and Mail, right? So Google Mail, but they call it Gmail. So on the top right hand corner over here where we see our J, we're gonna, well, you guys will see the letter of your name. You guys will actually see on the left side of images, there's Gmail. So we can actually click on that, left click, and it'll take us to Google's email service, which is fantastic. It's a really good way to keep your emails nice and safe, to communicate with friends and family members. And it is a fantastic way of being able to send information to pretty much anybody that you interact with. Could be through your work, could be maybe you're looking for a job. Great way to send out resumes. Anything that you can do with email, you can do it here, which is fantastic. So if we were to write a new email, on the top left hand side where it says compose, we can actually click on that and write a new email to whoever we want. So that's it. That's it, you guys. That's it for today. Just how to create a Google account. I will show you that now. If you go into that little box, you guys will always be able to see that no matter where you are on Google. You have a lot of different options, and one of the best options, if you maybe say you just bought a computer, maybe you got a computer from somebody, it's a new computer, it's new to you, and you don't have Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint, you don't have to worry, because Google, by creating your account, will allow you to use a tool that is very similar to all those, right? So Google has Docs, which is like Microsoft Word. They have Sheets, which is like Microsoft Excel, and they have Slides, which is like Microsoft PowerPoint. So if you need to type a document, maybe there's something you have to send to your lawyer, maybe it's something you have to do for school, maybe your kids need to write a paper or some sort of essay, or they need to do an assignment for school, but you guys don't have Microsoft Word, and Microsoft is an expensive software to purchase, you can use Google Docs. So if I click on it, you guys will see that it's very similar to Microsoft Word. It looks very similar, so we're just going to open a blank one. And you guys will see it looks very, very, very similar. And Google did this on purpose so that anybody that was new, that maybe had only used Microsoft Word before, could use their tool as well and not feel confused or lost, right? So in here, I can just start typing, "Hi, my name is Joe," even though it's not. So it's a great tool, and it's absolutely free. All you need is a Google account, which we've already created, which is fantastic. The other great thing is it will actually save, this document will save to your Google account, so you don't have to worry about putting that document on a disk or a USB stick or a memory stick. I don't know if you guys remember, we talked about memory sticks before. You don't have to worry about any of that. It is always online when you need it. You can pull it up on your phone. It's a great tool. All right, you guys, so that's it for today's video. We managed to create a Google account and we can send out emails. We also looked at the tools that are available through Google, which are great for completing Word documents, Word processor, right, which is Docs, to make sure we can type up documents and do anything that we need. It is absolutely fantastic fantastic tool. So feel free to play around with it. Look at all the great things that Google has to offer. All of these great applications are fantastic. It would, if we could create a whole course just on Google applications, that would take hours and hours. But I don't want to do that to you guys. I just want to give you the basics, and that is what this program is all about. As you learn more and more about the basics, you could start playing with some of these excellent tools and learning more and more about them. But for now, this is all I've got for you guys. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, make sure you send me an email or give me a call, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have. Also, if you guys have any suggestions on anything else that you'd like to learn more about, if enough people are interested, I can make a video about that as well. All right, guys, I will see you next week in next week's video.